everybody, Mark from Northeast Bastion. How you guys doing? Well, I thought I had finished all the flipping and pitching baits that I had planned to do, and I was kind of looking through my stuff here, and I said, there's one other bait that I never hear anybody talk about anymore. That I thought maybe, you know what? It's a bait I do flip and pitch. There's a lot of different ways you can rig this bait, and I think it's kind of a, it's an old school bait, kind of a forgotten bait. I think some people still use it, and the fact that I got some new versions of it this past winter made me even think about it more. So the bait I'm talking about is the Ika style bait. Ika, fat Ika style bait from Yamamoto. I found Mayo's version of it at the outdoor show this year, and I got some cool colors here. And when I was going through my stuff, I had forgotten that a very similar to that is the Demiki Hydra. And what these are is they're essentially tube baits that are solid. It's a solid tube bait. There's a couple different ways. There's many different ways to rig these. But the two I'm going to show you are if I'm going to pitch it at any cover. But the three main versions I have are that Demiki Hydra, and I do have some of the Yamamoto. The only one I know of that they have now is the 4-inch fat Ika. They used to have like the big Ika, some different sizes, and it's a thinner style bait. Then they had these big ones they came out with for a while. But now the only one that I know of is just the 4-inch fat Ika. So that's the one I'll show you the most, since I know you can still get that one around. And the Mayo's baits is brand new. So let me just show you, if you've never seen an Ika before, and I'll show you, how the Yamamoto compares to the Mayo's, compares to the Demiki. What you've got is, a solid tube. You've got the skirted bottom or top, depending on how you rig it, and then you've got, the solid plastic bait. Now here's one of the Mayo's ones in a June bug color. So there's the Mayo's version, and you can see the Mayo's version is a little thicker, just holding it side by side with the Yamamoto. But the three main ones I'll talk to you guys about are the Mayo's, the Yamamoto, and let me get that Demiki rig back up, or the Demiki Hydra back up here. I don't know if Demiki still makes the Hydra or not. I'm not sure. If they do, I'll put a link for it. But you can see here's the, three companies with their version. I would say these both are 4 inches, and I would say the Hydra is probably 3.5 inches, maybe 3.75. It's a little shorter. But it's that solid body with that skirted bottom. And I say skirted bottom or top. You can rig these, either way. Now, here's my flip and pitch and stick that I've been using for all these videos. If I was going to, throw this, let's say, the traditional way, I would take that. I have my 1/2 ounce or 3/8 ounce bait on there, or weight on there. I'm going to come through the top. This is the Mayo's June bug color here, which is pretty awesome looking. And when I rig these, I go right to the top where that hook bends, right to where the hook bends, and then I'm going to go through the bait, pop it out, and then just, always size it up. Now, you definitely want an EWG for these baits. These are thick plastic baits, no matter which brand you're using. But right there, now that is totally weedless. Like even now, that's how you would think, okay, well, I'm going to just flip and pitch this solid plastic, tube into cover. And it's fine. You catch plenty of fish. That's how I've done it the most. With the wide gap hook, as soon as the fish clamps on it, he's going to pull that bait down, and you get a good hook set. But that's traditionally how I would say most people probably do it. Works fine. You'll catch lots of fish. That's the way I've probably done it the most. But there's another way to do it. Now, there's other ways, but for this video's purposes, I'm going to stick with like pitching at cover. Another way I could do this, and I'll chop this weight off here for a sec. Just get my hook. Probably needs to be retied at this point anyway. And this is, you know, medium, heavy rod, 14, depending on how heavy a cover you're fishing. And I always use a polymer knot. Now, I'm weedless now. Or weedless. I'm not anything now. I'm weightless, no weight on there. I took that half-ounce weight off. Just tied my polymer knot on there. Now, let's say you want to be a little more finessey. Fish are a little funky. Oh, I feel like I can't move my chair here. I'm going to rig it backwards, as they say. I'm going to go into the tube end, or the skirt end, just like, and rig it that way. So essentially, I guess you could say I'm rigging it backwards. Here's the part. It gets a little tough because you gotta go right to the end of your bait. So now, when that bait goes into the water, I'm throwing it that way, and it's weightless. So now I have some people recommend a bullet weight in the end there if you think you need it. If you want to go really finessey and just let that bait go down, because what it'll do when you rig them like this and you flip it and you know pitch it out there towards the weeds, it's gonna float away from you. So you think it's just gonna go, like with the weight, it'll go straight down. Without the weight, it's gonna, just the way this bait is created, it's gonna kind of float away from you. It's gonna glide, it's gonna slowly go down. So if you've got real finicky fish, especially now in the post-spawn, we're kind of post-spawn here in New England, just throwing this around the cover. You still got a decent amount of weight on there because it's a heavy piece of plastic. Just pitching that out, you know. Now, if I was gonna do this exclusively, I might even go to a little lighter line, maybe 12 or 14. And I could go 10 and probably put it on a spinning setup if I wanted to. And just cast it out there and just let it go down into the weeds, nice, and just kind of glide around. Pretty versatile bait. Pretty versatile bait. So, like I said, guys, you can power fish it with a weight on it, or rig it backwards with no weight on it. Try both ways. I haven't done it this way a lot. I haven't done it this way in years. I can't remember the last time. I remember when this bait came out and I tried it, and I was like, oh, okay, that's okay. But even just kind of getting, you know, back to looking at the bait again, like the Mickey one, this would be great on probably a Ned head. I don't have any Neds laying here on the desk right now, but that I can see. No, I don't. But I would see this would probably be a great Ned bait. You know, this smaller one. But I would use a 3/0 hook on the Demiki version. I would not use the 4/0. I think the 4/0 would be too big, because that's kind of a small bait. Because the last time I used these, the Demiki ones, when I first got them, I was just putting like a 3/8 ounce weight on there with a 3/0 hook and just pitching it around the cover and catching fish. So it's a pretty versatile bait, guys. If you're looking for something different to add to your arsenal for flipping and pitching, you can just, you know, throw these hollow, I don't want to say hollow, they're not hollow, that's the opposite of hollow. these solid tube baits, these Ica baits that are available out there. You can get them from Yamamoto, you can get them from Mayo's. The Mayo's ones are really cool. I haven't used them yet. I just got them over the winter, so I'm looking forward to throwing them this summer around. But they've got some cool colors. I'll put a link to their website. You can check it out. But if you check out my other video on that I did on the Mayo's baits that I picked up at the outdoor show, I got this Junebug color. I don't think they have the color written on there, but you guys can kind of, you know, it's your standard colors. You got your pumpkins, you got your June bug, you got your green pumpkin. You gotta have that. And this looks like a pumpkin with pretty cool. It's got some different flake in it. That's a pretty cool one. I'll take that out and show it to you up close. But I'm definitely gonna, flip these around this summer. That's pretty cool, all that different flake there in that tube part. Little extra plastic there. That's cool. Typical fisherman. Really smelling this plastic to see if they have any scent in it. But I'll put a link to the Mayo's baits. You can check them out on my other video I did from the outdoor show last winter too. But if the Hydra is still available, I'll let you guys know. But it's a very, very versatile bait that you can rig a lot of different ways. You could wacky rig these and throw them around. You can, put it on a Ned head, flip and pitch it, rig it one way, rig it, front and back with a weightless. Very, very versatile. Very, very versatile. Depending on how the fish are acting. I mean, and I don't hear of anybody, that I know at least, that throws these styles of baits anymore. So there's a good chance if you're out there, fishing, you're going to be the only one in the lake throwing it. But it's a fish catcher. It's a fish catcher. Definitely check them out. The Fat Ika from Yamamoto. Mayo's has their version. There may be other versions out there I'm not aware of. If the Hydra from Demiki is still out there, I'll let you guys know. But you can see that theirs were always kind of cool. Like their whole style of baits they did for a while, because they had like these little, it was like all those little balls at the end of the tube skirt. It was were kind of neat. It's kind of a cool idea there. Give it a little more vibration. But I'm gonna hold this one up without hopefully dumping it all out. But there's the Demiki Hydra that came out a few years ago. And I don't really see a lot of their soft plastics available anymore, so they may not even be making this one anymore. If they are, and I can find it, I'll put a link for you guys. You can check it out. They got some cool colors, and it's nice and soft. A little smaller if you want something that's a little smaller. Definitely would be good on a Ned head. They got some cool colors. So that's it, guys. I thought I would kind of talk about that bait a little bit. It's kind of a different one that we're used to seeing here, as far as flipping and pitching goes. I would tend to throw this with the weight here and just throw it into the, the heavier cover. But if you've got sparse cover, you're fishing the outside of weed lines, just send this out with no weight. Just let it drift around. It'll drift away from you. And, it's good around docks because it'll drift under the dock. It's a pretty cool bait. So don't sleep on it. Definitely do not sleep on the Ika style baits. Something good to add to the arsenal this year. And I have some here. I think I had these bags are the ones and I was actually sitting in a chair over there, and the Yamamoto baits are like right next to the chair, and I was like, oh, I never talked about the Ika with anybody. I have a bunch of these. I got them, I remember a tackle shop was closing down over by Sagandaga, Dave's Bait and Tackle, and he had a bunch of these, so he was selling everything cheap, trying to, clear out, stock for when he was moving, selling the shop. So I grabbed a bunch of these. That's an old package right there, the old Yamamoto packaging. I don't know if they still make this clear with large gold and silver flake color. I don't know if they make that one. I've caught fish like when they're up, spawn time on that color. And it's just the watermelon with the black I've been showing you. I showed you those Mayo's ones. This is that big Ika that they had. And I remember flipping these around when they came out and catching a lot of fish on them. It's some really cool colors. But Yamamoto, when the Senko hit, every Yamamoto bait in those days was super popular, because everybody on Earth was throwing a Senko, and so then all the other Yamamoto baits became very popular too. But there's that gold one, or silver gold. There's a pumpkin one. This is the one I really liked. I always liked that color with Yamamoto baits. It's like a green pumpkin, purple green flake. Looks like a watermelon, like a green pumpkin. then there's just some of those big ones with different colors. I wish they still made those. They're kind of cool. Got a few laying around here still. Black and blue, black and red. That's that big Ika. Then they had the real big one, which I only had a few of. Caught fish on those. Definitely caught fish on these when they first came out. But they don't make the bigger sizes anymore. Maybe one day they will again. Who knows? I don't know how, how big of a seller the Ika is for them, but the people that know, it's a good bait. So if you guys are looking for something different this year to throw, check it out. Check out these Ika style baits. Really, I'm really looking forward to getting this. Actually, I didn't even realize this. This is a green pumpkin with a blue flake on that Mayo's one. I didn't realize that. It's pretty cool. I didn't realize that flake was in there. But I'll put a link. I'll put a link to these baits, to the Mayo's baits, to the Yamamoto baits. You guys can check them out. And I encourage you to check out my my video on the Mayo's baits I did, after the show in Massachusetts last winter. Check that video out in the archives. And that's it, guys. So I'm going away for a few days. I have a few videos I'll probably be dropping, here and there as I'm away. I'll be back home on Thursday, and we'll take it from there. And then I got another few days, and then I'll be up on Lake Champlain for 2 weeks in July for that Candlewood fishing camp. My buddy Chris and I will be up there for the sessions 1 and 2 on Champlain. I believe they're starting a session tomorrow on Candlewood, but we'll be up there on Champlain for 2 weeks. So hopefully the weather will be good, the fishing will be excellent, and hopefully I'll get my boat back that I haven't gotten back yet. But I'm hoping it'll come back. It'll be done next week. I have to find out, because it's getting close to the time. A couple weeks to go here. But that's it, guys. So any questions, let me know. If there's somebody else that's making this style of bait, let me know about it. I'd like to try it. But I'll put links to these and the ones you can get, and you guys can check it out. So thanks for watching. Please like and share this video, and I will see you guys soon on YouTube. Mark out.